1,500 canned products in the average American supermarket. Most of them are fine. A handful of them are the nutritional equivalent of a slow-motion disaster, engineered to look like food, priced like food, treated as food, while doing things to your body that no label is legally required to explain. 6 to avoid. 2 you should be eating immediately. You may already have some of the bad ones at home. The 6 cans to avoid. Number 1, canned soup. Sodium, up to 890 milligrams per serving. That's 39% of your daily limit per serving. Canned soup is one of the great comfort foods of American life. It is also one of the most deceptive products on the supermarket shelf. Here's the problem. A single serving of most major brand canned soups contains between 700 and 890 milligrams of sodium. That is almost 40% of your recommended daily intake before you have eaten a single other thing. And here's the detail that makes that number worse. Most cans contain 2 servings. Eat the whole can, as most people do, and you have just consumed 1,800 milligrams of sodium from something that looked like lunch. Chronic high sodium intake is directly linked to high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. 3 of the leading causes of death in the United States. The vegetables in these soups are cooked to mush, the noodles are overprocessed, the broth is thickened with modified starch, and flavored with ingredients that don't appear on the front of the can. Canned soup has been marketed as wholesome and nourishing since 1897. It is neither. If you need soup quickly, buy low-sodium versions, check the label before the label checks you. Or, and this costs maybe 20 minutes, make it yourself. The difference in how you feel is not subtle. Avoid canned soup, or choose low sodium and eat half the can. Number 2, canned pasta. 10 grams added sugar in a savory meal. 850 milligrams sodium. Ultra-processed, Chef Boyardee's overstuffed Italian sausage ravioli contains 10 grams of added sugar. In a savory pasta dish, 10 grams. That is approximately the same sugar content as a cup of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, a cereal that at least has the honesty to be openly sweet. These products, Chef Boyardee, SpaghettiOs, and everything in their category, were designed for one purpose: to be cheap, shelf-stable, and acceptable to children who don't yet have opinions about food. They are ultra-processed in the most technical sense of the word. The pasta is pre-cooked to the point of structural collapse. The sauce is thickened, sweetened, and salted to hit specific palatability targets that have nothing to do with nutrition and everything to do with repeat purchase. Sodium sits around 850 milligrams per serving. The ingredient list includes things like caramel color, a compound that, according to the Center for Science in the Public Interest, contains a potentially carcinogenic byproduct called 4-methylimidazole. This is not food for children. It is an industrial product wearing the costume of food. There are better options at the same price point that do not require a chemistry degree to navigate. Avoid canned pasta. The sugar content alone should end the conversation. Number 3, canned beef stew. Tossed, nearly 1,000 milligrams sodium per cup. Full can equals almost your entire daily sodium limit. Dinty Moore. Beef stew has been on American shelves since 1935. It has also, for most of those 90 years, contained close to 1,000 milligrams of sodium per single cup serving. Eat the full can, which is 2 cups, and you have consumed nearly your entire recommended daily sodium allowance from a single meal that also happens to contain gray, pre-cooked meat of ambiguous texture and vegetables that gave up the structural fight sometime around 2019. Beyond the sodium, the beef in canned stew is typically low-grade processed meat. Research published in multiple journals has linked consistent consumption of processed red meat to increased risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers. The vegetables, potatoes, carrots, are so thoroughly cooked that most of their nutritional value has been processed out of them entirely. This is not a stew. It is a sodium delivery system in a can, with some protein as a passenger. If you are reaching for it because it is quick and filling, there are faster, cheaper, and vastly more nutritious options available. 2 of them are at the end of this video. Avoid canned beef stew. 1,000 milligrams sodium per cup is not a meal, it's a warning. Number 4. Preparedness. Canned fruit in syrup. Up to 38 grams sugar per can. Equivalent to drinking a can of soda with your fruit. Fruit is good for you. Fruit submerged in heavy syrup is a different product entirely. Canned fruit packed in heavy syrup can contain up to 38 grams of sugar per can. That is more sugar than most people should consume in an entire day from all sources combined, concentrated into what is being sold as a healthy snack or dessert. The syrup itself is typically a mixture of high fructose corn syrup or refined sugar and water. The fruit is essentially bathing in liquid candy for the duration of its shelf life. Fructose, processed in the liver and converted to fat when consumed in excess, has been linked in research to insulin resistance, fatty liver disease, and metabolic syndrome. The fruit itself retains some nutritional value, vitamins, fiber, but those benefits are dramatically undermined by the sugar load they are packaged with. This is not a health food. It is a confection with fruit-shaped items inside it. The fix is simple. Buy canned fruit packed in water or in its own juice. Same convenience, same shelf life, fraction of the sugar. The label is the only difference between a smart choice and a quietly terrible one. Avoid fruit in heavy syrup. Buy in water or juice instead. Same can, completely different product. Number 5. Sweetened baked beans. Saturated fat, excess sugar, unnecessary additives. Nutritionists consistently flag this one. Beans are one of the most nutritious foods on earth. High in protein, high in fiber, rich in iron, potassium, and magnesium. Canned beans are one of the best things you can keep in your pantry. Canned baked beans, however, are something else entirely. The sweetened baked bean, your Bush's Original, your Heinz Original, contains significant added sugar, saturated fat, and a list of additives that have no business being in what should be a simple, ancient food. Nutritionists flag this one consistently. The sugar content turns a legitimately nutritious food into something that behaves more like a processed side dish than a protein source. The molasses and brown sugar used to create that familiar sweetness push these products into a category that genuinely undermines the natural goodness of the bean inside the can. The solution is not complicated. Buy plain canned beans, black beans, cannellini, chickpeas, kidney beans, with no added salt, no added sugar, rinse them before use, and season them yourself. You get all the nutrition, none of the additives, and the flavor is better because you are in control of it. Baked beans are an American institution. They do not need to be this processed to be this delicious. Avoid sweetened baked beans. Buy plain beans and season them yourself. And finally, number 6, conventional canned green beans. Misrepresent, pesticide contamination ranked high risk by Consumer Reports. One serving equals 200 times the risk of eating broccoli. This one is less obvious than the others, and it matters. According to Consumer Reports, conventional U.S. grown green beans are consistently contaminated with some of the most toxic pesticides in commercial agriculture. Their analysis found that eating just one serving of U.S. grown conventional green beans per day represents a high-risk exposure, and that a single serving carries approximately 200 times the pesticide risk of eating the same serving of U.S. grown broccoli. 200 times. The specific pesticides detected, including acephate and methimidofos, both organophosphate compounds, are toxic to the nervous system. They are banned in the European Union. They are not banned here. The canning process does not remove them. What you are buying, if you are buying conventional canned green beans, is a vegetable carrying a pesticide load that regulators in much of the developed world have decided is not acceptable. The answer is organic. Organic canned green beans exist. They cost marginally more, and they carry none of the pesticide burden. Or buy frozen. The flash freeze process locks in nutrition without the chemical legacy. This is a swap that costs almost nothing and matters more than most nutrition advice you will receive this year. Avoid conventional canned green beans. Buy organic or frozen instead. Right, that's the bad news, and now that you know it, you can stop paying for it. Now, the two you should be eating, because here is what the canned goods aisle gets right when it gets it right. These two products are cheap, have an almost indefinite shelf life, are more nutritious than most things in the fresh section, and are criminally underrated by American shoppers. If your pantry doesn't already contain both of them, fix that this week. Number 1 to try, canned sardines. Omega-3s, protein, vitamin D, calcium, B12, naturally low mercury. One of the most nutrient-dense foods on Earth, sardines are polarizing. They are also, by virtually every available nutritional metric, one of the most extraordinary foods you can eat, canned or otherwise. A single 3-ounce serving of canned sardines delivers approximately 22 grams of complete protein, a substantial dose of omega-3 fatty acids that support both heart and brain health, vitamin D, vitamin B12, calcium, provided by the soft, edible bones that most people never notice, phosphorus, and selenium. They are naturally low in mercury, which cannot be said of most canned fish. They are wild caught. They are at the very bottom of the food chain, which means they accumulate almost none of the environmental toxins that build up in larger fish over their longer lifespans. The nutritional argument for sardines is, frankly, embarrassing for most other canned products. And the taste argument is not what most people expect. Good sardines in olive oil from a quality brand are rich, savory, and satisfying in the way that only high-quality protein and healthy fat can be. On toast with a little lemon and a few capers, they are a meal that costs under $2 and outperforms most things you could order in a restaurant. If you have written sardines off, try them once more with better bread, better olive oil, and lower expectations. The conversion rate is remarkable. Buy canned sardines, the single most nutritionally dense thing you can take home from a supermarket for under $3. Number 2, plain canned beans, protein, fiber, iron, potassium, magnesium. Studies show daily bean consumption reduces LDL cholesterol significantly. Beans are the most underestimated food in the American pantry. They are also, adjusted for cost and nutritional density, one of the best purchases you can make in any supermarket in the country. A half cup of plain canned beans, any variety, contains around 8 grams of plant-based protein, significant dietary fiber, iron, potassium, magnesium, and B vitamins. A full cup of black beans provides 16 grams of fiber, approximately half your entire daily requirement, in a single serving. A randomized trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating 1 cup of canned beans daily for 1 month produced a significant reduction in total and LDL cholesterol compared to eating the equivalent amount of refined carbohydrates 1 month. 1 cup of beans per day. The key word in all of this is plain. Not baked, not sweetened, not canned in a sauce. Plain beans, no added salt where possible, rinse before use to remove any residual sodium from the canning liquid. Black beans, cannellini, chickpeas, kidney beans, all of them work. All of them are interchangeable in most dishes. All of them cost between $1 and $2 a can and will outlast most of the fresh food in your refrigerator by several years. Toss them into a salad, blend them into a dip, add them to soup, eat them cold from the can with olive oil and salt if you are short on time and have no patience for instruction. They will improve almost any meal they touch and cost almost nothing to do it. So, now you know, what's the verdict? The canned goods aisle is not the enemy. It is a place where genuinely brilliant nutrition lives alongside some of the most aggressively marketed junk in American food retail, and the distance between the two is often exactly 0 inches of shelf space. 6 cans to put back. The sodium bombs, the sugar-soaked fruit, the ultra-processed pasta meals, the pesticide-laden green beans. Products that have been selling the idea of convenience while quietly borrowing from your health to pay for it. 2 cans to take home, sardines and plain beans. 2 foods that are cheaper, more nutritious, and more versatile than the vast majority of what surrounds them, and that the nutrition science community has been quietly recommending for decades while the food industry spent billions pointing you towards something else. Read the label, rinse the beans, try the sardines, your body will work out the rest. Please comment below and tell us. Which of these canned foods surprised you most? Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this.